The 8 greatest 4-cylinder engines of the last 20 years. A lot of 4-cylinder engines get overlooked because they're mainly used in ordinary cars that have as much flair and excitement as a glass of water and a side salad. But there are a few 4-pots that went against the grain to quickly gain iconic status. These are the greatest 4-cylinder engines of the last 20 years. Honda F20C and F22C. 240 bhp from a 2-litre naturally aspirated engine is an impressive enough feat from the F20C, before you consider the legendary variable valve timing, and the addictive 9,000 RPM redline, and the fact that thanks to its forged aluminium pistons, it's pretty much bulletproof, which lends itself nicely to boost. When the S2000 was released, it also featured the highest specific output for a naturally aspirated production car with 120 bhp per litre, a title that it held for around 10 years until the Ferrari 458 stole its crown with 125 bhp per litre. The awesome 4-cylinder engine powered the Honda S2000 until the car's discontinuation in 2009, with some markets receiving the larger F22C variant, which had a displacement of 2.2 litres but a lower 8,200 RPM limit because of the longer travel of the pistons. Mitsubishi 4G63. It was around for decades and powered countless cars in myriad forms. Single overhead cam, double overhead cam, carbed, injected, naturally aspirated, turbocharged, you name it. But arguably the 2-litre 4G63's most famous application was in the Evolution line of Mitsubishi Lancers. The last Evo it appeared in was the 9, where it produced anything up to 366 bhp in the 200-unit limited edition MR FQ360, while the previous generation Evo 8 FQ400 variants 4G63 pumped out an unholy 405 bhp to give it a 0 to 60 time of 3.5 seconds and a top speed of 175. The 4G63 might not be the best sounding 4-cylinder in this list, but it's durable and, with strengthened rod bolts and head studs, is known to reliably take up to 450 bhp at the wheels. VW EA888. It may be one of the more clinical engines here, but you can't argue with the EA888's flexibility and its performance potential. In the VW Golf R and Audi S3, it's good for a mighty 297 bhp, and although that doesn't sound quite as impressive as the 366 bhp 4G63T in the Mitsubishi Evo 9 FQ360 we just talked about, it's important to note that you get all that power with some pretty decent fuel economy. It's moved the game on, and proves that you can have cars as punchy as a recently departed Evo 10 and current Subaru WRX STI with fewer drawbacks. Before the massive Dieselgate scandal, there were also plans for a 395 bhp version of the engine for a crazy Golf R400. However, that was sadly killed off last year following the company's belt-tightening activities. Alfa Romeo Twin Spark. It may be the Busso V6 that gets all the attention when people reminisce about Alfa Romeo engines of the past, but we shouldn't forget about the old Twin Spark 4-banger. It utilizes a second smaller spark plug for each cylinder at the edge of the combustion chamber, all in the name of improving combustion efficiency. It's a technology that's never really caught on, and even Alfa gave up on it, replacing the TS line of engines with the direct injected JTS series. But it's a characterful engine with a distinctive zingy induction noise. Displacement range from 1.4 to 2 litres, with the latter size producing 150 brake horsepower. Subaru EJ25. The EJ25 is a bit of an awkward one. Sure, it's always a popular choice with people, but there are plenty of reasons why it shouldn't be in this list. Certain versions are known to be prone to head gasket failures, and they're not what you'd call economical. In fact, these engines are made to look shockingly thirsty next to the current crop of hot hatches that are just as powerful. But this list wouldn't be complete without a Subaru Boxer engine, and we love the fact that the EJ25 still exists. It's a glorious oddity in a world of relatively characterless inline 4s, and while it may not sound as burbly as the older unequal length header equipped Subaru Boxers, the most recent EJ257 version with up to 305 bhp makes a lovely distinctive noise. Volvo B230FT. Part of Volvo's Red Block family of slant 4 engines, the B230FT has a well-deserved reputation for strength and durability, thanks to a forged crankshaft and pistons, plus a refreshingly simple design. The most powerful versions are good for 190 bhp and found their homes in cars such as the 760 and 780. SR20DET. Like many of the engines here, SR20DET production started more than 20 years ago, and many of its more famous applications occurred before 1995. However, since it powered the S15 Silvia, where it produced up to 247 bhp right into the noughties, and since it's a bona fide legend in our petrolhead circle, we could hardly not include it. It's reliable, easy to tune, and cheap to maintain. What's not to love? Toyota 3S GE. The 1998 5th generation version of the 3S GE, also known as the Blacktop, was produced in conjunction with Yamaha, and it was the most powerful of the series with 207 bhp developed at 7,600 RPM. The 2-litre inline-4 powered just one car, the Toyota Altezza RS200, and featured a dual VVTi system that adjusted timing on both intake and exhaust camshafts. While the block was standard iron, the cylinder head was made of aluminium to help keep weight low. In fact, the engine weighed only 143 kilograms or 315 pounds, and gave the RS200 more than enough power to shred tires all day long. What other awesome 4-cylinder engine should be added to this list? Let us know below, and remember to give this video a heroic thumbs up.